this video and I'm going to give you guys so much game for absolutely nothing. Just will be literally blown away. Is, the kind of disparity between your mentality and what you need to have to actually do the things that you want to do in life. So a lot of you guys, I know for a fact, a lot of you guys wake up, you go straight into your phone, you swipe, you just absolutely just binge social media for hours. And then you go downstairs or upstairs or your little stash and you just start eating all this garbage. And then what you tend to find is you've got no motivation to go to the gym. You've got no motivation to sometimes even go outside and be active. So what you're doing is you're actually killing your mentality. You're killing your skin. You're killing every single nutrient and that your body naturally produces. For what reason? You don't even know what you're doing. So typically it's just a case of figuring out the main causes of that situation. The main cause of that situation is you haven't figured out your goals, you haven't figured out your desires, you haven't figured out the dream reality that you want to live. The dream reality that you want to live is so important. The reason why it's so important is because we all have that innate ability to dream, right? And that innate ability to dream is so important for your subconscious. Your subconscious needs things like that to feed off of. And that's what you can feed your subconscious to do every single day. And what you will find is by the time you've done that and you practice that, you'll have dreams where you're in this reality where you're driving your dream car, you're, dating this 10 out of 10 female. So, you want to get really good at just training your subconscious to almost feed you those positive energies, those positive thoughts that instantly wake up and you just spark that disciplined habit that is just currently just getting hammered. But what you also want to get good at is just delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is so important. It's one of the most diamond things in the rough that no one really talks about. We've got instant gratification, the binge scrolling, all this type of consumerism and not really understanding what you're doing. But like, bearing in mind, I know when I go on social media, I definitely scroll, but I don't go on social media. That's the whole point. So the whole point is for you to really understand that doom scrolling and, kind of not figuring out your initial next steps and not really building a daily habit tracker or a daily understanding of what you need to do day by day to reach those goals will just keep you so stagnant. And as human beings, we don't deserve to be stagnant. Like, I've come to the realization of someone that I had an inculcation from my parents to always have faith, and I went to church every Sunday without fail as a kid growing up, and I always questioned God. I always questioned the whole point of God, and I just really didn't understand why God would do all the things that he does in terms of giving people these worst illnesses. Really grasp was God gives the toughest of tasks for the strongest of warriors. And what you need to understand is that is so applicable to life as well. The toughest of struggles create the strongest people. And that's why, it is important to really figure out where you stand and who you are. Figuring out who you are is so important, guys. There's loads of videos I'll create for you guys to just understand and really deep dive into who you are. Because when you understand who you are, you make a massive difference. And, don't feel like when you switch off this video, or, you might have switched off before, that it's kind of not something that you want to do because, you've built up the habit of just always eating rubbish, or, you're on a perpetual insane calorie surplus. But what I want to kind of just tell you guys is you can actually get there. You can actually reach everything that you want, but it starts from those things I mentioned. It starts from really just getting down to the root of who you truly are, and you'll make a huge difference. Because of social media these days, everyone's just lazy. They don't care. They don't seem to care. But that's because it's not because they don't care about where they want to go. It's because they've been programmed to just scroll over these constant years of just perpetual nonsense. And it's time to change that. It's time to really spark a change of who you truly are. And for me, I've kind of come to that realization. I've been doing self-improvement for a while now, and when I look back at the first days when I first started that, it really inspires me because, you know, the first kind of thing I put down there was get a 6-pack, and now I've obviously got a 6-pack, and you guys will see that. Obviously, you know, I seem to be in decent shape, but it's just kind of realizing where you actually stand. And for you guys, don't feel discouraged because you haven't hit the goals instantly. Because what you'll do is after watching this video, you'll set like 10 goals, 15 goals, 20 goals, and you won't hit any of them. You might hit 3 and think, oh, right, I've accomplished 3 goals. But you need to start micromanaging those goals. Break those goals down specifically what you can do day by day and just tick them off. You don't have to do 20 goals a day. I literally do 3 to 5 goals a day. And then I've got my anti-task goals. So these are basically goals where people, this is the funny thing, people will always do goals that they want to achieve, but they'll never do goals that they don't do. So you're setting goals for things that you wouldn't do. And that's what anti-task goals is. And that's what I implement in my self-development journal. So it's just kind of figuring out those things. But what I realize as well is this sort of complacency, it kills the modern man. It kills the modern man because the modern man hasn't really developed any sort of mental fortitude, which is a huge problem. Because if we go back to the days where we were hunter-gatherers, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's insane. You have families that would be out here killing silverback gorillas. I know 100 man versus silverback gorillas going right now, but you know, these men would actually do that. One man would do that. And you know, it's sort of figuring out that social media is there to slow you down. Obviously, you can use it in the sense of promoting whether you want to promote in broadcasting the world your products, your abilities, who you are. Amazing. That's beautiful that you've got the courage and, you know, the desire to do that. But don't let social media halt your progress, because it will kill you. It will slowly deteriorate the amazing abilities that every individual has. There's 8 billion, probably 9 billion people on the planet right now. I'm not gonna lie, every single person has got an individual thing that separates them. That is so amazing. And for us to realize this, there isn't a single person that, you know, doesn't have that innate ability to change everything, change the generational wealth of their family, change every single perspective of their entire social group, or, you know, their entire family's makeup genetically, just because you've created a whole disposition of muscle. And now, you know, when you have kids, they're going to have these genetic makeups as well. It's just understanding things like this, that I don't have time to go on my phone and just scroll. I've got so much things to do. It's almost like I feel hungry that when I complete tasks and hit every single task that I've implemented in my journal, I'm still hungry to do more. I'm still hungry because I just have that innate ability to just want to do so much more. But it's all about the inputs, right? It's all about the inputs that we can do at a micro scale, at a prolonged period of time, that, you know, will always lead to the output. I don't think about the output. I don't care about the output. I actually love the input. The input is so fun. And when you get good at the journey of understanding the input and loving the input, you know, the things you do on a day-to-day basis that really truly test you, really truly get you uncomfortable, you will start to realize that the output's inevitable. The output is just there. The output is whatever it is. But the input, that is where life truly begins. And that's where the journey of who you want to be starts. I want you guys to comment any struggles that you have, and I'll get right to them and see what we can do.